The United Nations Human Rights Chief on Monday criticized the Taliban's records since seizing power in Afghanistan, saying stated commitments did not match realities on the ground, such as the status of women. Meanwhile, women in Afghanistan will be allowed to study in universities, but gender segregation and Islamic dress code will be mandatory, Afghanistan's new higher education minister has said.
The United Nations Human Rights Chief Michelle Bachelet on Monday told the Human Rights Council in Geneva that Afghanistan was in a new and perilous phase, with many women and members of ethnic groups and religious communities deeply concerned for their rights. She criticized the Taliban's records in seizing power in Afghanistan, saying its stated commitments did not match realities on the ground, such as the status of women. Bachelet expressed dismay at the composition of the Taliban's new government, noting the absence of women and its dominance by ethnic Pashtun.
Importantly, and in contradiction to assurances that the Taliban would uphold women's rights over the past few weeks, women have instead been progressively excluded from the public sphere. In many areas, they are prohibited from appearing in public spaces without a male chaperone. In numerous professional sectors, women face increasing restrictions. Taliban representatives have limited girls' access to education, with girls over 12 prohibited from attending schools in several locations.
Earlier, Afghanistan's new higher education minister, Maulvi Abdul Baki Haqqani, at a news conference in Kabul on Sunday said that women in Afghanistan will be allowed to study in universities. However, there will be set rules. Classes will be gender segregated and strict Islamic dress must be worn. Women's education has been one of the central questions facing the Taliban as they seek to persuade the world that they have changed since their harsh fundamentalist rule in 1990. Earlier in the month, students started returning to university classrooms after the Taliban stormed to power, and in some cases, females have been separated from their peers by curtains.